Hi everyone, welcome back to Makeup Obsession. My name is Anne, and for today's video we have an exciting review for you guys. So I just got this package literally today, like a couple of hours ago, and this is the UCANBE Splashy Candies Palette. I've been eyeing this palette for a while now, and thankfully the brand UCANBE sent it to me for review. So yeah, let us get started with the review. So looking at the packaging, I love how fun this packaging is. It is a little bit bigger compared to the other palettes that they have. It's super fun, super colorful. It's so reflective of what is inside. Let's open it up. And when you open it up, you can see all of these beautiful eyeshadows. So this is basically a 54 eyeshadow palette, 54 color eyeshadow palette, and this is actually inspired by ColourPop. If you guys collect ColourPop, you'll probably recognize the way that things look. ColourPop sells these 9-pan eyeshadow palettes, and you can tell that they're inspired by 6 of their eyeshadow palettes that are designed that way. So I really like that all of those palettes are just, you know, put into one big palette, and it's such a pretty array of colors. Don't have any of the ColourPop 9-pan palettes and been curious to try them or want to own them, this is definitely a great dupe for those. By the way, this is about $14.99. If you go on the UCANBE website, I do have a discount code for 15% off. Just use Makeup Obsession and it will take out 15% off from your purchase right away, so you guys can save some money. Okay, you guys, so before we move on with the tutorial on this makeup look right here, I want to do some swatches. So I will just do it on my bare arm, no primer or anything, and I'm gonna start by quadrant. So we're gonna first get started with this orange right here, and I will just show you guys. That's the shimmer shade, and then this is the terracotta shade here. Bright orange. Okay. We're gonna do the glitter last. This is like another matte color, and I believe this is another shimmer. Okay, pretty. I'm gonna do this bright pop of orange. Last but not the least, we're gonna do this dark deeper terracotta. Beautiful. We're gonna do the glitter. Alright, so right off the bat you can tell that the mattes are actually swatching really nice. The shimmers though, they're quite faint. As you can see, it needs a second layer of swatch to be vibrant. So one thing that I noticed with the glitter is that it adheres really well. It's still on my skin. I did not use any primer whatsoever, like I said, and I just used like a little bit of the glitter, but it's still stuck on my skin. So I think it already has an adhesive. The orange was easy to remove. There's just a super faint stain on my arm, but so far so good. I really like how the mattes performed. I am not very happy with the shimmers, so let us try the yellow side of the quadrant. There's more shimmers in here, so let's get started with this top yellow shade, and then this is the gold shade, and then we're gonna go with another This is a brighter yellow. Oh wow, that's really vibrant. And then this is like a copper shade. And then this is a bronzy copper. Let's try the orange. And this is another shimmer shade. This is like a yellow gold. And last but not least, it's this brown right here. And then the glitter, I'm gonna apply it right here. Oh my god, the glitter is super soft and it looks really nice. It has blue and green glitter particles in here. I think the glitters are very soft and they do have an adhesive to them already. Beautiful. Beautiful. So just like the orange one that we tried earlier, the shimmers are still fainter. I noticed that the shimmers, they don't have the metallic quality to them. They do feel a little dry. The mattes though are really creamy. Okay guys, so in between I'm not really using any special makeup remover. I'm just using my makeup eraser right here and just wiping on top of my arm. So let us now move on to the green palette. I think we're gonna have better results with the green. I just feel good about the green palette. So we're gonna start with that light shade on top, and then that jade shade, and then this is a shimmer, which is like a nice olive color, and then this is another shimmery green. Oh my god, look at that color, it's so beautiful. I like that shade. And then this is like a light green, or yeah, it's almost like a true green. On the pan it looks more pastel. Okay, I like that shade. And then these are the last two. So this is like a hunter green kind of color, and then this is a dark brown. So that dark brown actually is not super dark. So far I actually like the shimmers here better than the mattes. I feel like the mattes, they really don't have the opacity in them like with this green, and this green is like a color shifter because it looks really pastel in the pan. So it's this color right here, and on my arm it looks more like a true green. So far so good. I'm not very impressed with the green. Let us see the glitter. The glitter is nice. It's quite fine compared to the other ones in the palette. This is finer. It has gold, green, and it's very nice and reflective. It has blue in there as well, which is kind of hard to translate on the camera what it looks like, but so far I really like this glitter and I like the shimmer color right here. Okay you guys, so far I really like the palette, like the layout of the colors. However, like some of the colors are just hit and miss. The greens, they stain my arm heavily, so I gotta like clean it off, or maybe, you know, do this other arm for the other swatches. So yeah, that's the thing. It's really rare because I've played with a lot of green shadows before, and so far it's very rare for a green to stain on my skin. So usually reds, pinks, and oranges would stain my skin, but not a green like green colors. So anyways, let us move on with the blue quadrant. So hopefully we'll get like better quality with this blue one. So this is the navy shimmer. This is the, oh, this is like a true blue, and this is such a good swatch. I really like the way that that's swatched. And then this is the dark blue, which is the closest color they have to black. It's still very faint, so I think if you play with that, you definitely need a concealer base to make it work. This color right here is a lighter blue, but they actually look very similar. And then this is another shimmer, which is more of like a true blue shimmer, but honestly the shimmer, it looks shimmery in the pan, but it barely has that like reflective quality. And then we're gonna move on with that top light blue shade, which is just like a nice icy duochrome shade. I think this shade will be prettier on the eye than on the hand. And then second shade we have, this is more of like a dark blue, which is surprisingly, because I mean I was expecting this to be darker, but this one is turning out to be more of like a gray green blue, and then this one turns out to be more of a navy shade. And then last but not the least, we're gonna grab this it's like a pale blue, but turns out it's not pale. That is so weird. So let me show you guys what it looks like. So it looks like this on the pan. It looks like a pale kind of a blue shade, but then on my hand it looks dark. So I noticed that some of the shades here in the pan, they look more pastel, but then in real life they're actually more on the darker side, or they just have more colors in them. So let me swatch the blue next. This blue is really pretty. It has like green and navy blue glitter. It's also fine. I really like the texture of their glitter, and like I said earlier, it seems like they do have a nice adhesive on there. So far so good. Okay you guys, so I swatched the reds right here, and then this is the glitter. I noticed the glitter again, it has blue and green particles to it, which I think gives like a more added, I guess, dimension. And then this is the purple palette. It's not impressive at all, you guys, and this is the one that I use on my eyes. And then on the glitter side, I like the glitter. It has green, it has kind of like periwinkle color, and then it has a hot pink that is kind of like a purple. I like the glitter of this one. So let us play with the eyeshadows. I currently have just like a full base on, and I don't have any eyeshadow obviously, so we can give it a try. So the size of the eyeshadows, by the way, they're like 25 cents quarters. Yeah, so they're quite huge. They're actually bigger than the other eyeshadow palettes from UCANBE that I tried before. Guys, to get started, I'm going to prime my eyes with the Too Faced Shadow Insurance. This is my go-to primer for everything really. This is tried and tested. I love this eyeshadow primer. It doesn't have any like concealing abilities or anything, so it's just really gonna create vibrancy, and it will make the eyeshadow last longer. I like using this one to test out eyeshadow, because I noticed that when you use like a concealer, when you're testing out or when you're reviewing eyeshadows, usually the concealer will kind of make up for what the eyeshadow lacks. Because usually, like if an eyeshadow doesn't have a lot of vibrancy, having a concealer underneath will make it pop. So I'm inspired by the flowers on my dress, so I'm gonna play with probably rosy color. So I'll try to use as much color as I can on this palette. So I will start off with this pink right here. So one thing about this palette is that it doesn't have a mirror, so I do have to pull out my mirror just to, you know, create this look. So it's 2020, brands should have a mirror on their palettes. It's like unacceptable. A lot of brands that have like $5 palettes already have mirrors on them. So yeah, that's like a big opportunity on the part of UCANBE. So, but whatever, we're just gonna roll with this because I do like the color scheme of this palette. So right off the bat, you guys, I was able to pick up quite a hefty amount of color, and I just dipped it a little bit on that color. So I'm not gonna do any powdering underneath to test how this one, like how it stays on the eyelid. Hopefully there will not be any fallouts or anything of that nature. So I'm just gonna apply it right here on the crease of my eye, and I'm just keeping it right there. So far, I barely had to do anything. It just laid on nicely, and then I'm gonna move on with this shade right here. This is beautiful. This is like just like a petal, kind of a pink shade. So what I noticed is that the color, the first color, does have a little bit of a kickback right there. It doesn't bother me. Kickbacks don't bother me, but if it bothers you, then just so you know, the product has a little bit of a kickback. So I'm gonna use that pink color just to diffuse this first shade, just a little bit on the edges. I love the way that these shadows blend, and you guys, you know, I love UCANBE shadows. I feel like they have some of the best formulas in the market, and they do perform really nicely. So I highly recommend any of their eyeshadows. On the innermost part of my lid, I'm thinking about pulling out this color right here, which is like a true red, and we're just gonna try and pop this color on the outer corner. I just want to see how vibrant that red is. It does look pretty vibrant, so I'm gonna be really careful with this one because I only want it to be more of like an accent shade rather than, you know, I don't want it to like overpower the rest of the look. Yeah. Oh my god, look at that powerful color right there. I'm gonna move on with a little bit of that pink shade, the first pink shade that we use, and I just wanna blend the edges ever so lightly. Okay, actually that looks very good so far. I was thinking about maybe moving on and grabbing a little bit of this purple right here and some of that like shimmery purple shade. So I think I'm gonna go ahead and apply. I'm gonna use this brush right here, and I'm gonna grab that light lavender, and I will just pop it right here on the lid area. I really don't mix these colors together. Like personally, that's not how I play with my colors. I normally just like using shimmers on the lid, but so far this is coming out really nicely, and I think that's really pretty so far, you guys. I love it. One thing about this pastel shade is that it does take some time to like pack it on, but what I like about it is that it doesn't come off chalky at all. And you guys, look at that. And then on the innermost corner, I think I will apply some of the shade right here, which is like a pretty pink. It's like a soft kind of a pink with a little bit of blue undertone on it. So I'm gonna try that on the inner corner. You guys, I love this color so much. It's so different. It's a dual chrome kind of color. Yes, it's beautiful. And then I think on the middle of my lid, I'm going to play with a little bit of this purple shimmer, just where the hot pink and the lavender meet, because I feel like something's missing. So I'm gonna pop it on there. I'm just gonna use my finger. So this color is not laying right on my eye with fingers, so I'm gonna do a brush and see how it performs with a brush, because I noticed that some shimmers do need a little bit of digging, so I'm gonna do that with that shade. Honestly, this shade doesn't look anything special. It seems like it's similar with the inner corner shade. It's just a little bit more purpley, I guess. So I'm not really impressed with that. I don't know if it's because the shadows, like a matte shadow underneath a shimmer shadow, doesn't work as well. But let me grab a darker purple. It's a little bit more royal, and we'll see how this sits on the lid. Okay, so far as this one is sits better on the lid, although I wish it was like a lighter version of that purple. Would have been so much better, you guys. I really don't play with colors like this. Like, I really don't play with shades in this manner, but I truly want to try this palette in general. And I layered a little bit of that light purple that we were working with earlier on top, and that looks a lot better, I have to say. So let me just build up this inner corner, and I think on the lower lash line I want to grab let me see, maybe I don't know, because I feel like adding blue here will make it look super convoluted. So I'm just gonna move on with that pink right there, just that hot pink, and see how that will be the best. Because at least, you know, we're staying with pinks and like purples and stuff, and I think this will be fine. Alrighty, so I think I want to add just a tad bit of glitter. This is like a really nice glitter to play with. It's red, but I also like that purple. I don't know, you guys, what should I do? I think we should do a little bit of the purple first, and I think I will grab a little bit of my eyelash glue. I'm kind of nervous with this one, but let me just grab a little bit of my eyelash glue and just pack it on here, because I do this every time I'm not sure how an eyeshadow would look like. I always just keep it right here, but you know what, so far I really like this. It's like this is not a purple shade, you guys. It's more of like, it has blue, it has a little bit of hot pink, it has some green in it. It's such a unique glitter color. So I think I'm happy with that. I think I'm gonna move on with lashes and a mascara and do the other eye off camera, and then I will share with you guys my final thoughts. Alrighty, so for my final thoughts, I feel like this palette is such a hit and miss palette. It has really interesting colors. I like the overall, I just love the layout of the colors because they look really similar to the ColourPop shadows. However, when you play with them and swatch them, they're not close to ColourPop shadows. What I like about ColourPop is that the layout of their shadows, there's like an ombre of colors. You know, they always have a more pastel-y version of a blue. They have a more dark kind of a blue. Like in this blue shade right here, there's really not much dimension, or there's really not much difference between some of the blues. And also, one thing that I noticed is that shimmers in this palette, they need to work on having better shimmers on this palette, because I play with the other shimmers of other UCANBE palettes and they work perfectly fine. They are really nice and creamy. They are very reflective. However, the glitters here, they lack, the shimmers here, they lack the reflected metallic goodness of UCANBE eyeshadows. The eyeshadows here, the mattes are good in quality. They're very blendable. They do have a great impact on the eyelid, easy to blend. However, the shimmers are not creamy. The shimmers are quite dry, and like I said, they're not reflective. I did try a wet brush technique and it still doesn't give it justice. So from the pan alone, you can tell that they're not that reflective, and they're not that reflective on the hand. Overall, if you're looking for something that's closest to ColourPop, I still recommend this one, because for the price point, you know, it's still a lot cheaper, and you get 6 of the most coveted ColourPop palettes. If you are into glitters, you can try this one. They have a great glitter formula. They have an adhesive on them already. The green shades, I had high expectations, but like I said, they did not swatch properly. I used the purple on my eyes. A lot of the purples and the pinks I used on my eyes. So far, on my eyes, they do look nice. They don't swatch the best. They are not really easiest to work with either. The purples, I mean. In general, purples are really hard to formulate, so that's super understandable for the purples to not perform the way that other high quality purples are. I would rate this palette more of like a 7 out of 10. It just missed a lot of marks for me. That I really like UCANBE eyeshadows, you guys. Like, I use their palettes, I own some of their palettes, and I can vouch for some of their palettes. It's just, this one is such a hit and miss that I can't give it a higher score than 7. I mean, 7 is already quite a kind score. Also, really disappointed that there's no mirror on this one. I mean, yeah, it's just, I really wish they would have did a better job on the shimmers. Also, I feel like this is the kind of palette that you would want to use a concealer primer for, and you want to wet your brush before you use the shimmers with this palette, because like I said, the shimmers need a little bit more pop. So far so good. I think if, like I said, this is something that I would recommend if you guys like the glitters, if you guys don't have matte colors that are in those colors, and if you just want to own something that's inspired by ColourPop. But in general, I feel like there are so many other palettes that UCANBE sells that is so much better than this one. So yeah, thank you guys so much for watching. I hope you had fun, and I had a lot of fun filming this video, and I hope that you learned something new today. Before you leave my channel, make sure that you click the subscribe button and click the notification bell so that you can get notified every time I have a new upload. Thank you guys, and I'll see you guys on the next one. Bye!